Washington, D.C. is much like any other city in America, or for that matter, any other city in the world. There's a certain rhythm to its day. It starts out in the morning, goes to the early morning and afternoon, then from the early afternoon to the early evening, then into the night, and then next morning it starts all over again. But unlike your hometown and mine, Washington, D.C. just happens to be the epicenter of power in the United States and arguably the world. So, for something to disturb the rhythm of Washington, D.C., it has to be something pretty big that happens in the middle of the day. But wouldn't you know it, at around 2 o'clock this afternoon, something just like that came along. Yeah, I think that's big enough to disturb the rhythm of the day in Washington, D.C., don't you? My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. Now, as I said, it takes an awful lot to break the rhythm of activity in Washington, D.C. But when you've got a story this big, it definitely makes everybody sit and take notice. We're going to take a look at the news article where I first found this. We're going to do some analysis, give some comments, try to give as much context to this as we possibly can. This is a story that's going to be ongoing over the next week or so, and definitely I've got a feeling that if all this plays out the way it could, this is going to be talked about for weeks and months to come. So let's get into it right now. We will start, as is our wont, with New York's premier newspaper, our friends at the New York Post. Headline: House subpoenas FBI file on Biden role in criminal scheme as new whistleblower emerges. Now, the article is written by Stephen Nelson, and we read: In a stunning development, the House Oversight Committee issued a subpoena Wednesday for an FBI file that a whistleblower said links President Biden to a, quote, criminal scheme involving money for policy decisions during his vice presidency. The tip is a potential breakthrough for GOP investigators looking into Joe Biden's role in his family's business dealings in countries such as China, Mexico, Russia, and Ukraine. Republicans say the file pertains to potential wrongdoing by Joe Biden rather than possible criminal activity by first son Hunter Biden or another relative that indirectly implicates the president. The alleged corruption is believed to involve a country other than China, the Post understands. Two sources say the whistleblower is not the same person as the IRS agent who anonymously came forward last month to allege a cover-up in the criminal investigation of Hunter Biden. The document subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee was, quote, created or modified in June 2020, months before Biden won the presidency, and must be supplied at a meeting on May the 10th, the subpoena says. Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer said the new whistleblower tip raises concerns that then Vice President Biden allegedly engaged in a bribery scheme with a foreign national. Quote, the American people need to know if President Biden sold out the United States of America to make money for himself, Comer said. Now, there was a letter that was issued by Comer, who is the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, and by Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, who is the ranking minority member on the Senate Budget Committee. We're going to take a look at that letter real quick. So let me pull this up, and I will do my best to quickly but clearly read this in its entirety. It is addressed to the Attorney General Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray, the Director of the FBI. Quote, we have received legally protected and highly credible unclassified whistleblower disclosures. Based on those disclosures, it has come to our attention that the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation possess an unclassified FD 1023 form. Now, I want to stop here for just a second. You might be asking yourself, what exactly is an FD 1023 form? Well, for that, we turn to the legendary John Solomon, and I will let him explain this in his own words. Take a listen to this.
It's a 1023 form. A 1023 form means that a confidential human source, an informant, someone that was registered and working with the FBI, provided information suggesting that Joe Biden himself, if the letter's accurate and the allegation's accurate, was somehow involved in a pay-to-play bribery scheme. James Comer uses the word bribery in his quote today.
Now, I want you to keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, as we go through this. That's basically all that the form does. An FBI agent is taking down information related to his contact with a human source. In other words, what are they telling him? What information are they providing him, etc.? Now, we'll go back to the letter. Continuing on, we read the following. An unclassified FD 1023 form that describes an alleged criminal scheme involving then Vice President Biden and a foreign national relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions. It has been alleged that the document includes a precise description of how the alleged criminal scheme was employed as well as its purpose. Based on the alleged specificity within the document, it would appear that the DOJ and the FBI have enough information to determine the truth and accuracy of the information contained within it. However, it remains unclear what steps, if any, were taken to investigate the matter. The significant public interest in assessing the FBI's response to this information, as well as growing concern about the DOJ and the FBI's track record of allowing political bias to infect their decision-making process, necessitate exacting congressional oversight. The DOJ and the FBI appear to have valuable, verifiable information that you have failed to disclose to the American people. Therefore, Congress will proceed to conduct an independent and objective review of this matter, free from the agency's influence. Transparency brings accountability. Senator Charles E. Grassley, ranking member of the Committee of the Budget. Representative James Comer, Chairman, Committee on Oversight and Accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be one of the biggest developments surrounding the Biden family and investigations into the Biden family that's come along in a long time. Now, there have been things ongoing as it relates to Hunter. There have been things ongoing as it relates to Joe's brother James. There have been connections made between Joe Biden, alleged connections, let me put it that way, between Joe Biden and Hunter and James. But this is a situation that's completely different. If what this whistleblower is alleging to be true, then there is evidence that Joe Biden, on his own, independent of Hunter, independent of James, may have engaged in a play-to-pay scandal. In simpler words, bribery. This whistleblower, which is different, by the way, according to sources, it's different than the whistleblower who came from the IRS to testify about the fact that everybody was slow-walking this criminal investigation into Hunter. This whistleblower has come forth to Comer's committee and said, look, I know about certain documents, I know about certain evidence. The FBI and the DOJ have in their possession this human source account document, an FD 1023, and inside this document tells you what happened and provides you the evidence thereof. Now, some things about the document, as has already been said. It is currently unclassified, meaning that absent someone coming along and slapping a classification sticker on it and saying, whoop, can't turn it over to you, we got classified documents in here. If that document remains unclassified, then there's not a reason in the world, theoretically, why the FBI and the DOJ should not turn this over to Comer's House Oversight Committee. Now, to be fair, number one, Joe Biden has the presumption of innocence. Evidence has got to be brought forth to prove that he is guilty of that which the whistleblower alleges. Number two, we don't know what's in this document. All we know is it may or may not exist. However, if what this whistleblower is alleging to be true is actually true, then I think we've got a scandal on our hands of monumental proportions with implications that will go beyond where we currently are right now. It'll go into 2024. It will go even beyond that. There has been a swirl around Joe Biden for years. People have always wondered, is he, what's really going on here? It just seems like there's a lot of smoke. Is there really any fire? It may very well be that the fire has come forward. Now, reaction to this has been all over the place, fast and furious, as you might imagine. I want to show you a series of tweets from Jonathan Turley. Now, Jonathan Turley is a professor of law at Georgetown University, a very famous liberal, and he has the following to say about this, and I find his comments to be very interesting. We'll take a look real fast. Senator Grassley just confirmed that a subpoena has been issued that alleges a criminal scheme involving Vice President Joe Biden based on very credible information from a whistleblower. They are seeking a specific document detailing the alleged scheme. Chairman Comer has confirmed that the whistleblower is alleging a specific bribery scheme with a foreign national. The document appears to lay out the alleged allegations, and Grassley confirmed he has not seen the document. The whistleblower allegations place the continued refusal of A.G. Garland to appoint a special counsel, a position that some of us have long criticized as inexplicable given past references to the president. Grassley just told Fox that he is concerned that this unclassified document can be suddenly classified, which I just mentioned a moment ago. Congress is also likely to face a claim of privilege over ongoing investigations. Now the Washington Post is reporting that Weiss, the special counsel looking into Hunter Biden, is close to a, quote, charging decision on that matter. The Justice Department is likely to use that ongoing investigation as a basis to withhold this document and other information. Now, some more comments from the wise guy and the wide brim. Jonathan Turley is absolutely correct. It's altogether possible that a classification sticker could be slapped on this document. It's also altogether possible that other prosecutors that are looking into family matters related to Hunter and or James may very well come forward and say, whoop, I'm getting ready to make a decision about what I want to do on this case, so maybe you better just hold up on that and not turn that thing over. But absent both of those things happening, in 1 week, the DOJ and the FBI are about to hand over a document to a very determined and very dogged James Comer that if it contains what is being alleged, the implications are going to be profound and far-reaching. So we're going to keep an eye on this. We'll keep you updated about what's going on. But as we get ready to wrap this up, do me some favors as always. Number 1, if you're not a subscriber to this channel, please do so. Number 2, hit the bell for notifications. Number 3, spread the word around. And number 4, give me a thumbs up on this video. I'm a hard-working man trying to make my way in the internet world. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I'll see you next time.